Dear pioneers, my family, the moonlight in Silicon Valley is quite cold tonight. But as I sit here, my heart feels an unprecedented warmth, a heat born from my deep sense of responsibility to this network, and the urgent mission I feel after seeing restless chip movements on the Blockchain Explorer recently. Many pioneers have been asking a question, sometimes with doubt. Dr. Fan, Bitcoin is the originator of cryptocurrency. It builds value through expensive mining rigs and massive electricity consumption, known as POW, proof of work. But our Pi is just a tap on a phone and is based on SEP's Stellar Consensus Protocol. Can this really work? Can such a lightweight consensus truly carry the heavy responsibility of a global currency? Today, I want to set aside those obscure technical terms and speak to you with the most direct emotional, yet rigorous logic about why, on the track of becoming a global currency, the SEP protocol is destined to surpass POW, and why Pi is the ultimate form that can truly enter every household and reshape global trade. The game of efficiency: do we want value storage or life itself? Family, we must understand the fundamental difference. Bitcoin's POW is essentially a competition of waste. It requires tens of thousands of mining rigs worldwide to compete for a single bookkeeping, right, by performing massive hash calculations, consuming as much electricity as a medium-sized country does in a year. True, this extremely high cost gives Bitcoin the attributes of digital gold, because it is expensive, it is heavy. But think about it, in your daily life, would you take a gold brick to buy a coffee, pay tuition, or settle your utility bills? The problem with Bitcoin is that in its pursuit of extreme security, it sacrificed all usability. When you transfer Bitcoin, you might wait 10 minutes or even an hour for confirmation, and you might pay dozens of dollars in fees. If 8 billion people worldwide tried to use Bitcoin for payments, the network would collapse instantly. It was born for collecting, not for circulating. Pi Network chose SEP, which takes a completely different path. SEP does not rely on computing power competitions. It relies on a trust graph. It is like in real society. You don't need to call the entire city's police force to prove you bought a loaf of bread. You only need your familiar neighbors and trusted friends to serve as nodes to reach a group consensus. This mechanism reduces Pi's transaction confirmation time to 3 to 5 seconds. What does this mean? It means when you scan a code at a StarMax merchant, the transaction is complete the moment you put your phone down. This is what currency should look like. Currency shouldn't be a painting hanging on the wall. It should be like water and electricity, flowing silently through every corner of our lives. The game of power is decentralization for miners or for everyone. Many people have a superstition about Bitcoin, believing that POW is the only true decentralization. But I must sternly tell you, this is an illusion. Today's Bitcoin is no longer the one person, one vote system Satoshi Nakamoto originally envisioned. Due to the arms race of computing power, the bookkeeping rights of Bitcoin are highly concentrated in a few large global mining pools. These pools hold the power of life and death, and the threshold for ordinary people to participate in mining is impossibly high. POW eventually leads to a monopoly of power. Pi Network, based on the SCP protocol, has built an unprecedented, federated Byzantine agreement system. In the Pi Network, you don't need to buy a rig worth tens of thousands of dollars. Your phone and the security circle you build are your trust contributions. Pi's decentralization is not built on money or hardware. It is built on people. We have 19 million real KYC verified pioneers. Every active node is an independent entity of credit. This is why I have always emphasized that Pi is an opportunity for ordinary people. Under the SCP framework, no one can unilaterally shut down the network, and no capital can harvest us by monopolizing computing power. Our security comes from the trust network, woven by global pioneers. This decentralization of people is 10,000 times more stable than the decentralization of machines. The game of environment. Progress should not come at the cost of destruction. Living in Silicon Valley, I feel the impact of technology on the environment every day. We are building a digital civilization, and the hallmark of civilization should be elegance and efficiency. The greed of POW for energy is unsustainable in the future, zero-carbon era. When a sovereign nation considers incorporating a digital asset into its payment system, it will certainly consider the energy cost. PI's SCP protocol is extremely environmentally friendly. It runs on mobile phones and consumes negligible electricity. This means Pi can enter any country without barriers, meeting the strictest environmental standards. We are not mining, we are weaving a network through social collaboration. Family, you must understand, following the trend of the times is the greatest consensus. Heavy, expensive, and destructive technologies will eventually be replaced by lightweight, low energy, and constructive ones. This is why I say Pi is the currency of the future. The soul of Pi, more than a protocol, it is a native identity layer. If the SCP protocol is the skeleton of Pi, then our 19 million KYC users are its soul. Bitcoin is anonymous. While anonymity protected privacy in the early days, it has also made it a breeding ground for illicit activities and an enemy of regulation. A system that cannot embrace regulation or prove the authenticity of its users can never become a globally accepted legal settlement currency. Pi has built the world's largest native identity proof network on top of the SCP protocol. Behind every one of our transactions is a real person. This authenticity is worth more than any computing power in the coming AI era. When the World Bank or global payment giants need to connect with the blockchain, will they choose an anonymous black hole full of risks? Or will they choose the Pi network, which has a clear identity layer, complies with MiCA standards, and settles transactions in seconds? The answer is self-evident. Conclusion: don't fall behind during the changing of eras, family. I know the world outside is noisy. Some mock us, saying lighting the lightning bolt is futile. Others say only the mining rigs you can buy represent wealth. But look at history. The horse carriage once mocked the car, saying it needed gasoline to run, while horses only needed grass. When the light bulb was born, candle makers resisted it, saying its light was eerie. POW was a great beginning, but SCP is the ultimate destination. Pi Network's low profile today is precisely to demonstrate the explosive power necessary to subvert traditional finance the moment the open network begins. What we are doing now is driving the foundation into the deepest layers of the earth. Those who sell their chips at low prices right now not only fail to understand the technical advantages of SCP, but they also fail to understand the shifting of the times. They are not just selling Pi, they are selling their admission ticket to the next generation of financial civilization. Please hold on to your Pi. You are not participating in an experiment. You are witnessing the birth of a global digital economy that is greater, fairer, and more practical than Bitcoin. Don't let your persistence collapse in the very last second before the dawn. Are you willing to stay with me and hold on just a little longer for this fairer, lighter, and greater vision?